Hello and welcome back. Today I am going to be putting this very festive makeup look on my face for you. Yeah, I was feeling like a little bit of a red lip today, so I am testing some products from a couple of brands that are new to me. So I did make some purchases in the Black Friday sales and I thought I would test them out on camera for you today. I have been testing them out a little bit beforehand, so I already have a few thoughts that I could share with you. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy this video, and without further ado, let's get into it. Hello, so we're going to apply some new makeup today. Basically all of it is from Rose Inc, and then there's like a couple of Rare Beauty bits because I realised that Rare Beauty is like way more widely available now in the UK. I got my stuff from Space NK, and then with Rose Inc, I actually didn't realise they were Leaping Bunny certified, and I've been hearing so many good things about the brand, so I did decide to pick up some bits in Black Friday, and mainly just to like test them out and see what all the fuss was about. But yeah, I'm really into, as you guys know, like the no makeup look. I don't really like wearing like full coverage bases anymore, so that is very like Rose Inc and Rare Beauty type thing, but we are going to add a red lip today to make it a little bit festive. So I'm going to start with the Rose Inc Skin Enhanced Luminous Tinted Serum. This is very unique. Like the texture of this is not something I've ever seen or used before, which is kind of what intrigued me. So you basically pump it out and it has like the skin, what does it say? Micro encapsulated pigment spheres, but it's kind of like just serum with some broken up pigment in it. You do need to use this with a brush rather than a sponge, which is fine for me because I always use a brush anyway, so that didn't really bother me, but you have to kind of smush it up on your hand before putting it on your face. I really like this skin tint foundation thing. It does have a fair amount of coverage. I would say it's like a light, maybe a medium coverage if you don't have very many blemishes. It's not gonna cover like a lot of like blemishes and spots and stuff, but it does what I need it to do, which is just kind of even out my skin tone, add a little bit of coverage, and it fades so naturally. And the reason that I like this over something like my Urban Decay Stay Naked Luminous Skin Foundation thing that comes in the squeezy tube is because this is a lot more it dries down to be a lot more natural. It's not matte by any means, but I did see some reviews online saying like it clung to dry patches and stuff. I don't really have a lot of dry patches, so I haven't noticed that. I've just noticed that it fades really beautifully and kind of just adds a nice gentle radiance to my skin rather than being really, really dewy. Although I will say, like, I touched my face at the end of the day yesterday and there was definitely some like oil coming off on my hands. So I think it does add a little bit of that kind of dewy glossy look, but it's a lot more subtle than something like the Urban Decay one. One downside I will say to this is it's a little bit finicky to work with. Like it blended in really quickly and seamlessly that time, but sometimes I find that it just kind of creates streaks straight away when you're blending it, so you have to be a bit kind of persistent with it. But I have found like if you just leave it for like 30 seconds just to like settle on your skin and then go back in with a brush, it blends in a lot better. The other thing I found is if I use 2 pumps of this, that's when that kind of streakiness really starts to happen. If I use just 1 pump of this, that's plenty and it's enough for what I want it to do on my skin. And then for concealer, I thought I would use today, I actually got 2 concealers in the Black Friday sales. So I got this Saie, I had enough points, I had enough Cult Beauty points to get this for free. I had like £15 worth of points that I cashed in, and this was on Black Friday discount, and it ended up that I got this for £0. So I was really excited about that. This is the Saie, I can't remember the name of the concealer, but it's their concealer. And it's in the shade HB1 I got in the end. A lot of people say this on the reviews because I did like look up most of these products quite extensively before I bought them. But a lot of people say this is really similar in like texture to the Kosas concealer. It's kind of like that Your Skin But Better, adds a really nice glow, doesn't add loads of coverage, but it's just a really nice daytime concealer. And then the Rare Beauty concealer is the other one that I got. This one is in 130N, and it's actually a lot lighter than it looked on the swatches, but I think it works for my skin tone. But just so you're warned, I think it's lighter than the swatches like made it look online. So this one is a bit less thin than the Saie one. Full transparency, I've only used this once. This arrived yesterday. So I would say it's a little bit more creamy of a consistency than the Saie one, and it has a little bit more coverage on first impression. And the doe foot to this is weird and I don't like it at the moment. Maybe I'll get used to it. But the doe foot is like almost cut out in the middle. So you get a lot of product just like sitting in that little hole there. And it means that it applies a lot of product when you like put it onto your skin. So just be gentle, because I don't like loads of concealer. And I noticed that a lot of the reviews for this one said it can look cakey. And I imagine that the doe foot doesn't help with that because it's very easy to like over apply the product. I always think the trick with concealer is like not applying too much. So how are all of you? I have not filmed in a long time. It's just there's been a lot happening in my life the past like 2-3 months maybe since I've last made a video. But yeah, I wish I could say it's all good stuff, but it hasn't been the best. So I did mention in my last video that we were going through the process of buying a house. We're still in the same house now. Yeah, it's been a journey, let's say that. We are still in the process of buying this house. We should have completed on the house in about, well, originally, we're not gonna get into the semantics, but originally we were thinking it would be closer to September. We thought we would be in by now, let's put it that way, when we first made the offer. That hasn't happened. So we are currently thinking we will probably move in January. For a long time, we were told that it would be completing on the 12th of December, which is in just over a week's time. I'm filming this on Sunday, the 4th of December. So on Friday, just gone, we found out that it's probably gonna be at least a week later that we complete. Unfortunately, we don't have any more information than that at this point. Yeah, it's just been a very frustrating process. I'm still not 100% sure we will actually end up being able to buy the house at all. Yeah, there's just things that are slowing it up, unfortunately. So I'm not, like I say, I'm not 100% sure if we will be able to ever buy this house. But we are really hopeful that it will be January that we move. And that we complete in December. We don't have really longer than that because, as people know, the current economic climate is wild. So we kind of really need to move now with our current mortgage offer and all of those things, because we don't want to be in the position where we need to renegotiate our mortgage offer. Things are very up in the air at the moment, and if I'm honest, it's been a very, very stressful few months, just kind of dealing with all of that. And it is kind of stuff that's going on in the background, and it's not taking up like hours and hours of my time every day to manage it, but it is taking up all of my brain space thinking about, are we gonna move? Are we not gonna get this house? Are we going, like, I hate not having an answer. I really, really struggle with not knowing how things are going and like, just being left hanging. Just personally, like, I don't cope well with that kind of stuff. So we are just going with it and hoping that it will all come off. You know, along with that, there's been stresses at work, there's been stresses just with being away as well. Like, we had an amazing honeymoon, which was like one of the best trips, like probably the best trip that I've ever taken actually. It was just like so relaxing, so enjoyable. The hotel was gorgeous and just like really luxurious, like a lot more luxurious than the kinds of holidays we normally go on. So it was really, really nice to go away for that. But then when we came back, I had like a couple of weeks, maybe a week or something at home, and then I feel like every weekend or every week I've been away, like doing something or like fun stuff, but also like I was away for a week for work and stuff. So I just feel like I haven't had time to like settle back into my routine here. And obviously because I have thought that we would be moving in December, I haven't like let myself feel settled here, because I'm thinking like, well, we're not going to be here for that much longer anyway, you know, like it's always been like at the back of my mind, like we're going to be moving in December, so that time is coming up, I'm like ready to go out of this house kind of thing. And then obviously that's all changed in the last couple of days. So it's just been several months where I have felt like not settled, really since the beginning, like all of October and all of November I felt that way, just because we've either been traveling or like thinking we were on the cusp of moving. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, and I am sorry that I haven't managed to film more during that time, because yeah, it's just been really busy and I haven't been able to catch you guys up, but here I am. I don't know when my next video will be because of all the things I just mentioned. I am hoping that once we have an answer one way or the other about this house, like I can at least then start feeling a bit more settled and find a bit more of a routine and yeah, get back to just being less stressed. So the bronzer I just used was also from Rose Inc. This is their cream bronzer and this is in the shade Kuai. This year I have really been enjoying the Saie cream bronzer, but it's very emollient, very slippy, which is brilliant for like the summer months, but I wanted this one because it's more of a cream to powder formula, and I just thought it would be a nice cream bronzer to try out for the winter months and not add that much kind of glow and slippiness to my face, because I love like a really glowy face in the summer, obviously. I mean, I love a glowy base all year round, but I just want it to be a little bit less intense in the winter months. My Saie cream bronzer, I find it works better with a really fluffy brush, blending it out like this. But I found that the texture of the Rose Inc one with a brush like this just doesn't really work. So you need a little bit more of a denser brush. So I've just been using this Zoeva Grand Stippling brush. I think they've discontinued this brush, which I'm so gutted about because I've used it for years. I have 2 of them. It's the only brush I use for foundation, and most of my cream blushes I blend out with this as well. But I found that this has been working really well with the bronzer, so just kind of like stamping it in. I found that when I used the fluffy brush, it kind of made the texture of the bronzer go a bit patchy and just not as even. So I found that this has worked really well, just kind of stamping it on and kind of pushing it into the skin. So I have a really hyped up product that I was very excited to try. Of course, if you follow like makeup YouTube, you'll know what this is, from Rose Inc. The cream blushes. Yes, these are apparently some of the best cream blushes to exist, and I was very curious to try them. Jamie Page loves these, Alana Davison, like countless people that I follow have used these and raved about them. Julia Adams, she loves Rose Inc products and she goes on about the cream blushes as well, and she is like the cream blush queen. So I went for this shade that is very different for me. I don't have anything else in my collection like this shade. It's very kind of bright berry undertone shades, but almost like a raspberry. And it's really nice for winter. It gives you that really kind of flushed cheek look. This is in the shade Azaelea. First of all, I just want to mention, just a note on the packaging for Rose Inc products. Like, it's so, feels so expensive. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's really nice. This is like really nice kind of, oh no. Wow, let's just take a little breather there. I think it's okay. I just made a little dent in it. We're all right. We've survived. Yeah, so this is really nice weighty packaging. It has a nice magnetic closure. It's got a compact mirror. Oh my God, I'm getting blush all over it. It has a compact mirror inside, and these are also refillable. So if you did want to change out the color for the summer months, you could just pop this out and just buy the refill, and you're saving a lot of money, which is what I will probably do, because I think they come in like little plastic cases, so you can just kind of like pop this out and in when you want to travel, and like, or which one you're kind of using for your sort of everyday makeup at the time. So I really like that. And then this packaging for the bronzer is like, obviously has the same look. I know a lot of people say these look like little mini toilet seats, but I quite like it. I think it just makes it look different. And the matte packaging doesn't like show up fingerprints or anything. So it's really nice compared to like the NARS packaging, which I know gets really grubby. This feels matte, but it doesn't have that problem. And this like twists like that and then comes off, and I just like it. It's just different. I mean, I am a sucker for packaging, but I know it doesn't really make any difference to the product, but the products are really good as well. So it's nice to have nice packaging. It makes it feel a little bit more luxury. And because this is Leaping Bunny certified as well, like there are not really many luxury feeling brands that are, you know, like your Chanel's, your Dior's, your like Armani's. None of those are cruelty free. So it's really nice when you come across a luxury brand like Charlotte Tilbury, for example, that is cruelty free, and I think Rose Inc fits into that category. So the texture of this cream blush is interesting. It's very thick. I don't know how to describe it, but it feels very kind of like, almost like putty-like it's thick. It's like a thick cream, so you only need a tiny bit. Like, obviously this is a particularly pigmented one anyway, but the pigment really does like show through when you just have a tiny bit on your fingers. I kind of just work it in with my fingers and then go in with my trusty grand stippling brush and blend out. I probably will add a bit more because, to be honest, that is enough for like real life, but on camera things always look a little bit less saturated, I find, or at least that's how it looks in the viewfinder. Probably when I go to edit this video, I'll be like, wow, you have clown cheeks. But yeah, it's like almost like solid to like touch it. It's like different to other cream blushes I've tried. I wouldn't say it's like wildly better than other cream blushes that I've tried. I don't fully know what the hype is. The thing that I do like about this is that it is really long lasting. I don't feel like it just kind of fades off my cheeks, which a lot of the more kind of slippy emollient cream blushes can do. But I would say nowadays there are a lot of really good cream blushes on the market. So I'd say this is up there with my favorite cream blushes, but I would say that the Saie cream blush is also a really good option. And then the Melt cream blushes, I love those things. I think those are so good. I don't hear a lot of people talking about them now. Like, they were quite hyped up when they first came out, but they seem to have like gone under the radar again. But I really, really like that formula. It's a lot more kind of slippy. It does still seem to be really long lasting, even though the texture of it is quite different to the Rose Inc. So yeah, I'd say any of those three, they're probably my top 3 cream blush formulas. The Saie, the Melt cream blushes, and then the Rose Inc ones. I think they're all equally really good. And this isn't to say that this product is bad by any means. I just think like cream blushes are done really well now. It's hard to make something stand out from other really good cream blushes. And although the texture of this is different and the packaging is 10 out of 10. This is my favorite packaging out of all the ones that I just mentioned. You know, is that enough to like make it the best of the best? I don't know. The Rose Inc products just look really natural, honestly. It kind of looks like I'm not wearing makeup. They just blend into the skin so seamlessly, and they lay on top of each other really well, which you would expect because they're made to be worn with each other. But like this, for example, like just sits so nicely underneath the cream blush and bronzer. Okay, so the other two products I have to use today from Rose Inc are the their brow gel. This is in Fill 02, so it's their tinted brow gel. And then also I got this little mini of their mascara, which is their Serum mascara. Now I have to say these two products are the ones I'm least excited about that I've tried from her. My thoughts on these is that they're fine. They're decent. I will use them up. Do they blow me out of the water? Have I tried brow gels and mascaras that are just as good, that are half the price? Yes. So for that reason, I just don't think I would repurchase these. I like the brow gel. It's not super pigmented. I was expecting it to have a little bit more oomph about it. And I thought it would kind of do more in terms of like holding my brow hairs up. I thought it would be a little bit more of a laminated brow look, although I don't like really laminated brows, but I thought maybe it would just hold things up a little bit more than it does. I would say this is very comparable to something like the e.l.f. Wow Brow, the Glossier Boy Brow. I think the e.l.f. Wow Brow is the most similar to this. The Glossier Boy Brow is quite pigmented. This I think is closer to in pigmentation and performance, to be honest, to the e.l.f. Wow Brow, which you can get for like, pretty sure less than £5. So for that reason, I wouldn't repurchase it. It's a nice brow gel. You all know my feelings on brow products. So boring. I just don't get excited about doing brows. I literally just, that's it for me. That's the whole brow routine. The mascara, kind of feel the same way about this mascara. It has one of these plastic brushes, which is curved, which I love. Again, I use the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl mascara. That was one of my favorite mascaras for 2 years. It's now been discontinued, but it had a very similar looking brush to this. So I really like that kind of curved brush. I've been using that on several different mascaras throughout the years, and I always like it because it just adds a lot of length. It really lets you kind of coat your lashes but also separate them at the same time, so you can really get into your lashes and like lengthen them with the brush almost, because you're like combing through it. I just don't think it adds enough on the volume side. I actually prefer the Glossier Lash Slick to this, just in terms of like lengthening and definition. It does add some length, but it just doesn't add enough va-va-voom to my lashes. The Glossier, although it doesn't really add volume, it adds more length than this. And the e.l.f. Keep Your Curl one, which has been discontinued obviously, I feel like added like length, the same length as this, but more volume. So that's kind of my issue with this, is that it's just too not there as a mascara. Like it kind of just paints my lashes black and doesn't do a whole lot else. I mean, you can kind of layer it up, but now this might also be because I have only been using it for like a week maybe. So sometimes when mascaras dry out a bit, they get a lot better. So I will report back if my feelings change on this, but that's how I'm currently feeling. Part of my purchases from Rare Beauty were their lip products, because I really wanted to try out a few different like formulas from her, because I have heard really good things. So I went for one of her lipsticks and lip liners, but in a slightly different shade than my normal go-to like nude. This is in the shade Bold, and it's basically a red lip. Again, the packaging of these is really nice. You have, you like click it and it pops out and then you just lift it off. I feel like it's a lot more wearable than your traditional red lipstick. So this is the liner and this is the lipstick shade here. It is like a soft matte formula. I just thought it was a bit different because I really struggle with wearing red lipsticks. Like for example, I bought this to wear on holiday. This is from Beauty Bay and it's their lipstick in Sauce. So this is a matte lipstick, but it's obviously like a really true red lipstick. This one looks basically nude next to it. But I just find these so hard and finicky to wear. I'm constantly thinking like, do I need to go and top it up? Do I need to go and like try and sort it out? You know, can I drink a drink with it, like, or not? Like, it's just stressful for me to wear these, but Adam absolutely loves it when I wear red lipstick. Like, it's like, if I ever like, I'm like, do you like my makeup? He's like, yeah, great. What about red lipstick? And I'm just like, okay. The reason that I got this is I thought it could cover all the bases. Adam likes it. Looks like I'm wearing a red lipstick, but it's not finicky and high maintenance. So that's my goal with this. I have not worn this yet. This is gonna be my first time, so we're gonna just see how it looks. Okay, so I just realized that my camera stopped recording, so I apologize, but as you can see, I've started applying the lip liner and then I'll fill it in with the lipstick. Wow, that color match is like perfect. So you can see when it's on, it looks more red than when it's kind of swatched, but it has that kind of really cinnamony undertone, like brownie undertone, so that it still kind of looks nude but red at the same time. How is that possible? I really like this look. I wasn't sure if the blush would be too much with the lip, but I think they complement each other really nicely actually. So yeah, that is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed trying all these new products with me. Let me know if you've seen me use anything today that you're gonna try out, or if there's anything from Rose Inc that you've tried or Rare Beauty that you've tried that you think I need to try. Let me know, because I'm very intrigued about these brands, and I hope that you guys are all doing well and taking care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.